present, ever threatening. Rival potentially looking to run that one back, but at this point, like you had mentioned earlier, Ares doesn't always see success, so maybe running him twice in a row would be bad for his win rate.
Yeah, probably so. I would agree with you on that one. And we also saw a very early get ban in that last game. I think it was also trying to limit a lot of the potential safety factor to allow both of these teams to make those aggressive plays.
It's one of those, I think they recognized they were coming in trying to get aggressive, so Rival wanted to get rid of the one thing that can save you, the Geb Shield, which is just the holy savior of hunters and mages all around the world. But same bans from the last game. Not going to be changing that one up. The pick order, though, is going to be the big one. Rival looking to potentially confirm their Cucullin one more time. There's no reason not to run it. It worked well. And even though Rapio had a little bit of a rough start, still was controlling that late game.
You never really know with Rival. They could also flex that in the soul lane for Gnome, and you were talking about the Geb Shield making an impact to stop the Ares pull and the damage from the chains, but also the Cataclysm knockup has so much disruption of a duration that it's going to interrupt the next secondary chain afterwards.
I'm going to be running back two of their picks at least. Era looking for the Osiris and the Hu Yi, but they're going to lose their Ganesh going into this one. So Rival potentially looking for a little bit different style of play overall. Rapio potentially still on the Cucullin. It could also go to Gnome, depending on how they want to play that. But the Raijin's going to be locked in still. That's a lot of damage.
So Rival recognized that the only reason that Era even had the opportunity to invade that speed buff was because of Ganesh. Ganesh Scylla was able to outclear the Ares and the Raijin. So we saw that multiple speed buffs invade. This time around, Rival with the Ganesh should allow Raijin to be the one to invade this time.
And Sir Duckbot doing, I think, the exact same thing we saw him do last week. The first game he played Scylla, didn't have a huge impact. The second game he played Raw, and there were a couple missed snipes, but when it came down to it, that was actually what ended up winning his team the game. A lot of the control coming out from him and a lot of the damage in team fights and for objectives. So depending on whether or not that's a tail to take, they might be looking to try to win this one just off the back of Sir Duckbot. But again, on the other side, aggression tends to punish the Raw.
That's true, but it's a very timely Raw pick right before the secondary ban phase, able to ban away the Odin, not going to position himself in a way to get caged down. Fafnir going to be the second selection after the secondary ban phase for Era, as they're going to be able to augment the attack speed out of the late game Hu Yi.
And I like the combo. The Thor Jingwei pretty much giving themselves the position to get aggressive early on, but continue their damage slowly throughout the game so that they never really are weak. And if they play the Raijin the same way they did last time, like you said, the mid-game kind of point peak that he will have and be able to get some of that damage down. So something to carry to the point where Jingwei at the late game will just start tanking and chunking people down. But Fafnir, Susanoo on the other side.
I love this mobility from Rival with the Thor here from Rapio. Cucullin now going to flex in that soul lane role. Jingwei for Dobson. He's able to really keep up with the farm here coming out of Lizer, trying to make sure that he's not going to get bullied out in that laning phase.
Now looking for very early aggression already in the jungle is Era, recognizing that Susanoo can do a lot of damage early on, accompanied with this Osiris. They're going to be looking for Gnome. The slow is going to be thrown down. They're looking for those autos, but the tower is going to be there, and Gnome's going to be able to walk out of this one A-okay. He's going to have to pop one health potion to get back to full, but he's not that worried.
Not too worried whatsoever here, but the right side, normally we don't see this kind of aggression in the solo lane before the minion lanes hit. It's normally in the mid lane instead, but with this rotation from both of the junglers, the advantage slightly goes to Rival simply because of the way the Thor passive works, getting an additional 15 power per god up to 2.
And being able to walk right into them like that, able to fight, and we see the Ganesh clear helping out. The Fafnir not going to be doing as much for that overall, and Rogue getting poked down just a little bit. And this just goes to show, even though Era were ready to fight early on, they were looking to try and get advantage of that solo lane. They're looking at potentially losing their jungle because of the rotations coming out from Rival.
That's right, Jacob HL was there. We talked about the Ganesh making an impact in game 1 for Era. This time, Jacob mixing things up, switching from the Ares, which is an aggressive support, to a slightly different aggressive support on the Ganesh, allowing for Rival to be the aggressors for the speed buff invades.
Now we're going to see overpowered USB take a lot of damage from that, and the double tap not going to connect on that back hit, but still going to be enough to force him to fall back and look for the farm, but the blue buff is taken. All of their jungle on this side so far has been confirmed away. The big thing is going to be just the control of the lane, the control of the jungle. Rival are extending what they had last game and taking it right into the beginning of this.
Just Era have no control whatsoever. Nice root allows Rapio to find the double tap there. Even Rogue using his defensive horrific emblem after that blue buff invade was really fearful for his life, considering he was only level 1 at that point.
And it just goes to show that Rival are looking for exactly what they were doing last game. They're just trying to bait out everything that you need to stay alive, and as long as they keep putting that aggression down, they get your beads or they get your horrific emblem, and then they come into it, and then by the time the next one comes around, they're able to pick you off just because you don't have anything left.
In the dual lane, of 1 level advantage for Eliza. I'm pretty sure he was able to secure maybe more of his own buffs there, or at least not split it as much as Dobson did. So that's going to be a level 5 first for Hou-Yi. That gives him enough of a timing to get those boots too, and try to keep up with the Jingwei passive.
Ganesh being a big help in the mid lane, as we can see the levels all 4 on the side of Rival and looking to try and tick up. I expect solo lane to be hitting level 5 here relatively soon, and with Rapio hanging around with Gnome, there's a lot of combo potential to be able to get Gnome ahead, and that's the worst place you can see a Kukulkan if you are up against him. The way things are going for them going forward through it, the big one is going to be whether or not he can hit that ult, because last week we saw a lot of Thor ults that came through, and I think about 2 of them overall ended up hitting, but they were still relatively impactful.
Not the easiest ability to connect, especially in the console. Yeah. You ever hold one of those joysticks yourself?
It's so hard.
I can never play Thor on the console, honestly. So a lot of respect to Rapio trying to make this work, but he has a lot of good setup as well, because Jacob HL will keep people in place with those Dharmic Pillars, or at least force them out of the Dharmic Pillars. So he just has to kind of guess as to where they're going to be able to escape from. Not only that, the route from Gnome, once he transforms, will keep people in place as well.
The downside of the pillars will be that depending on where that Hou-Yi is around that, he can ricochet off of them. It's not going to be the best shots all around, and you have to be very heads up to be going into it ready to do that for the team fight. But Lizer has shown some prowess on this god before, and hopefully going to be bringing that for us today as we can see it. We've been seeing a lot of triple bounces coming out from the Hou-Yi lately, so maybe going to be adding to the list of players who are just traumatized by that experience. But Rogue T going to be the first one down as Rapio picks that one up, no problem.
That's the issue here with Gnome playing this Kukulkan here, the secondary mechanics. Once you go into that rage form, you get a second wave of abilities. It's so easy to kind of forget just how much damage that really does and how quickly you can get in there.
We're going to see Sir Duckbot take a spill right now. Locked in place is Tyler K, looking to try and get away, but he's going to be able to just barely jump out of there. But with the way things have been going, it's still putting him in a position where he's kind of scared, not able to continue being aggressive the way he would like for his team.
No, not at all here. And Rival with another nice advantage, trying to find more off of this one kill. They're able to really just get another invade off. They're finding Rogue yet again with his second death.
And now we're going to see overpowered USBs coming in. He's looking to try and defend this. He's going to be able to get the pluck, looking for something to do anything for his team. But he's at level 4 against 2 level 6s, and Gnome doesn't even care. He's going to go through, take the blue buff. They got a kill. They're going to back away, and they're just happy with what they've been doing. I
mean, there's no reason for Rival to overextend and overpush their boundaries. We saw what they were able to do with a deficit, being able to come back into the game. Now that they have a lead, let's see how they slowly build off of this. They're not trying to make any sort of risky tower dives. All their kills were on like that tower line edge, just barely slipping through it.
Now we see just bouncing across the map and overall cultivating a small lead, almost 2,000 gold here for Rival without a gold Fury and without anything, but the experience is the big number, and that's the one that always makes the big difference. When you're at 3,000 ahead, a lot of people underestimate the level differences between the team.
And we're looking at the difference of who these gods are that are behind from Era. Looking at Rogue T as an Osiris player, it's so difficult to play from behind. Susanoo can still make plays for OP USB as well as Raw from Sir Duckbot, but that's one solo laner that can't afford to be behind.
And when it comes down to it, like you said, OP USB is able to kind of get in. He's still able to do stuff, make some plays when it comes down to it. But the impact that I expect to see from Rapio on the Thor is just going to be greatly increased by the 3-level lead he's been able to amass, because coming into it, going up against Rogue T specifically, he's got the level lead over him as well, so he's able to kind of come down, dunk down from the sky, and with his passive just deal tons of damage in no time.
That's right, the Berserker Barrage, the hammer followed suit from the Anvil of Dawn is just going to be so troublesome for Era to really get in a right, comfortable, safe position because of how much distance Rival can cover all across the board.
looking to back away. Rival, I admire the way they've handled the lead they have. It's a little bit different from what we saw out of Era. Era were constantly trying to push that lead into a bigger league. They were constantly trying to invade, constantly trying to fight and find something to just extend it even further, and ended up kind of throwing themselves down because of it. They kept getting caught out, and after a while, like you had mentioned with the speed buff, it can work a few times, but, you know, fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. And they went for the third time, which is just the worst kind. Fool them 3 times, you lose the game.
I mean, sometimes people say, what, 3 times the charm, but unfortunately for Era's case, that wasn't to be whatsoever. And Rival, we're not going to be the unexpected victims this time around yet again. They're the ones dictating the pace in the second game. Nice juke from the hammer, though. Tyler taking a lot of damage. The silence comes through. Fafnir with half health needs to back off.
Looking for the damage going in. The Dharmic Pillar's going to get dropped down. Tyler K going to be taking some damage, but it's going to be Watson again making the big plays. Double already on the board for him. OP USB taken down. Gnome cleans up Tyler, and that's a 3-for-0 trade. The jungle's going to fall soon after, and that's 6 kills in favor of Rival to Era's big whopping goose egg.
I mean, that's how you play a lead, honestly. You find one member out of position. Unfortunately for Era, it was that Fafnir being played by Tyler K. With that silence continuously, he has no CC immunity unless he goes into that draconic form, but nice use of that passive from Osiris walking through that Thor wall.
You don't get to see that often. In fact, actually, a lot of players, even when they have that passive up, still think of that wall as a block, and then you see someone like Rogue T just recognizing and knowing, yeah, I can just walk on through that. I'm not worried about it. It's always kind of a jaunting see from up here when you see someone go through. He's like, wait, that's supposed to block them, but the same thing coming through for the players.
I mean, hey, not only does Osiris get that 16% physical damage mitigation, the 8% magical, but he's able to also have that Fatalis effect for those couple of in-hands and walk through walls. It's a pretty nice passive.
And he can't get body blocked, which is always a big one. A lot of teammates tend to get a little heated in some arguments sometimes when you get body blocked away. And mainly the ADCs, they tend to get really, really mad about that kind of thing. But, you know, they're the ones who put themselves in the bad positioning. They're the ones who are to blame at that point,
It's enough that Soul Laners got blamed, honestly. I'm done with Soul Laners getting blamed. If you're getting body blocked, it's time to switch things up. So if you got to have an Osiris to play, or a Soul Laner to play Osiris just to prevent yourself from getting body blocked, then so be it.
Overpowered USB, though, going to get blocked by the pillar. He tried to dash forward, but he's not able to escape that damage. Sir Dugbot finally going to be able to find some return for his team. It's going to be a big pickup, shutting down Watson just to make sure he's gone. But Rapio gonna get some pokes at his teammate.
Rapio just laughing at his own teammate there. That's actually, I think, the first time that I've seen someone laughing at their own teammate. Normally, you're taunting the enemy, laughing at the enemy for making a silly play, not your own teammate. But good sportsmanship here from Rapio, just being so lightheaded here. 4-1-1 for Watson, still doing a lot of work with his Raijin.
Now looking for some of that damage. 4-1-1 already. We're just about to hit 10 minutes in, but he has over half of the kills for his team right now. And it just goes to show, maybe the Ares combo was so predictable, he was taking a slow roll back into that. In this game, he is getting the damage down fast. And you had mentioned trying to play around it, and they were able to finally kill him, but so far it doesn't seem like the around part has come around.
No, not whatsoever. Era cannot find the adaptations necessary for the composition from Rival. It's just pretty airtight all across the board. Dobson's able to freely farm in the Hunter lane. Jacob's able to make these aggressive plays, and still the aggressive combination between Gnome and Rapio in this double warrior combination is giving Watson the freedom to reign supreme from a distance.
Now the team looking for the rotations around. The wards catching them in mid lane kind of give Era just a little bit of knowledge as to where they might be going. I could see like kind of the reverse rotation. Hey, they're going solo. Let's go ahead and go for the Gold Fury. But immediately wards and vision and calls coming down from the team. Rival know what to expect. And they're still looking for the damage. And the Dharmic Pillar is going to come down. Dugbot actually going to get pushed against the wall, and Rapio walks away with a kill.
Between a rock and a hard place, nowhere to go. OP USB trying to find the Stormclouded dash, not able to do so. Nice silence from Watson. Nice rotation also from Dobson with those 2 kills. The rest of Rival going to start up this Gold Fury.
The Suns are still available for Lizer, still able to make a play, and I think Rival recognized that. Knowing the raw snipe is down is great, but when you have a couple players who are able to try and turn that Gold Fury fight around, ultimately, you just want to go ahead and drop it.
I mean, even though the raw snipe is not available, there's no taiko drums from Watson either. So he's able to just back on out, force the reset there. Tyler's going to go into his draconic form. A little suspicious there, as there was nobody else around him.
maybe just looking for the immunity coming into it. I want to help him out. I want to give him a good reason for it. Rogue T finally going to be able to get his own blue buff here, but he's going to be fighting right into Gnome. And Rapio looking to get away just barely. Low health, but he's alive.
It seems that he's kind of playing with his own food right now. Playing with his own food is not something that Rapio wants to be doing here. He needs to try to find a way to keep this lead intact. And every single time he's going to have to back to base, that's going to allow OPUSB to get back into some sort of contention level-wise and get some free farm.
Now looking for the advantage, and this is where Rival, I mean, they're 9-1. They've amassed 3,000 gold, and they're able to continue pushing that aggression into the jungle, but I like that they're still not putting themselves in a precarious situation. They're not going to go for a Gold Fury just because they have a lead. They're going to wait until they know they can confirm it. They're not going to go for a Portal Demon or a Fire Giant for the exact same reason, even though they have been able to win pretty much every single team fight that we've seen so far.
It's all about the vision control from Rival. They're just waiting for Era to step over bounds to be able to find somebody, anybody, honestly. They got OPUSB around the red buff. They got also the mid laner Sir Duckbot around his own tier 1 tower simply because of the way the comp from Rival work. You got Dharmic Pillars from Jacob keeping people in place or trying to force them to run away. And then you also got the Tectonic Rift from Rapio guaranteeing a lockdown.
Now the Gold Fury started up, sitting at about half health already. Tyler K, I know for a fact, was able to see that one, but they're going to be going in for it anyway. And they're actually going to be able to confirm that one, no problem. Era didn't even bother trying to fight.
There was no really reason to, because it was all of a bait from Rival trying to catch anybody from Era out of position. It's kind of that double-edged blade. Damn if you do, damn if you don't, because Rival were waiting with those Dharmic Pillars, with the zone control from Rapio, trying to find that early kill.
Portal Demon looking to be the next target, and Rival running themselves ahead. They're not worried at all being able to go into this one, although they might need to be. Tyler K going to spot this one out. Rogue T and Overpowered USB going to run around. The big one is going to be Sir Duckbot going up into the sky, though. Rapio coming crashing down, going to not find the stun, but he's still going to find the damage onto the Raw and going to be able to find the kill.
Berserker Mirage doing wonders. Watson banging those drums away, forcing Rogue T to run away. Gnome, though, not going to let him escape this time. 2 quick kills for Rival.
And they're going to continue this aggression and this fight as the Suns are dropped, but we just see Lizer not able to have the impact. The damage coming down. OPUSB off the board into the ground, and we still see Gnome doing the Kukulkan thing we saw last week, going for the fight, and the wall actually going to be able to helpful.
Rapio actually probably tried to block in his own teammate there. I think he's having a little bit too much fun there around that jungle side, but overall good probability for Rival to get this Portal Demon for free.
That's going to be now 12 kills to 1, a 3 for none trade. Era at least will be able to end this one with a kill on their board, but the way things are going, they just do not have the fights they want. And I think, again, it comes down to the fact we still see the level advantage on the side of Rival, but no kills, only 1 assist, 0, 4, and 1. OPUSB not having the same impact as the other jungler.
No, not at all here. And that's something we were talking about. These 2 players between the solo and the jungle getting behind this early in the game. They're not making the plays happen. Even though Rival was behind in game number 1, we saw what they used to get back into it. Jacob made the plays setting up Watson. In game 2 here, who is going to be setting up who for the play? Sir Duckbot's a little bit behind. OPUSB is behind. Tyler K is playing a Fafnir. Not the easiest to find the setups.
OPUSB taking down Dobson with another kill on the board. 3-0-0 is the ADC for Rival. And he's not looking to slow down anytime soon. Level advantage and the damage advantage so far over his opponent. And Duckbot taking another spill in the mid lane. Rapio not letting up either. Jacob going to go and get the root down and the knock up here. Tyler K actually going to have the ultimate dropped onto him from
look
Watson.
What's behind. Look
and
what's
one
behind.
little bit of damage coming through. Rapio, the Dragon Form forced out just to get the immunity, but it's not going to save your life forever. That tier 1 tower is looking not that dangerous, and Rapio trying to figure out if he wants to dive, but ultimately looking like he might be in a bad position.
No, he's fine, though. He's able to hammer away from that rift there. Great performance from Rival, getting kills so fast. Even our cameraman can't catch them in the mid lane sometimes. We saw what Dobson was able to do with that persistent gust onto OPUSB. Gnome trying to find the ultimate, connects onto Rogue, but that's about it. Rival, though, are still here in the mid lane with Lizer right around the corner.
Now Gnome having the Suns dropped on him. The Typhoon going to be knocking him up. He's looking for the damage, but he's the one who gets the kill. Coming out of that, that's just not That's just not good form for Era. They're going to be feeling a little tilt after that just because he's so low, he's so close, but he's just so far away.
So there's a saying that I like to say. I'm sure you've heard of it before. There's something called forcing the issue, but Era right now cannot be forcing anything. Level 10 on OPUSB. He's too far behind to make the plays happen. He needs to sit so far behind the action to get off his damage just to allow to bait his other teammates before he goes in, because any ability now will just melt the Susano. He doesn't have the base health to deal with these enemy abilities at all.
And it's just one of the things that's rough as a Susano who's known for just sticking to people. He's always on top of you, always dealing that damage, but just not able to do it here. And we even see Watson getting a little bit aggressive. He's been throwing out these ults a little bit too willy-nilly to be able to get some of this damage down, although it is still winning his team some control.
If you look at it though, Rogue doesn't have much magical defense items at all. OPUSB is going to get engaged on yet again by Watson while the rest of his team is chasing down Sir Duckbutt in the mid lane.
Now he's going to be going through a couple more hits is all it takes. The root and the stun going to be enough to be able to find that. Rapio gets another kill on his belt, 6-0-6. And his team's going to fall back. They don't need to continue fighting. They don't need to buff their numbers anymore. There's a Fire Giant laying in wait for them, and they have the damage to take it. But it doesn't look like they're grouping up fully for it. They still want to fight. They're just trying to figure out where they want to fight for it. And they're going to be able to get that damage down around the corner.
It's a nice idea from Rival to try to bait Era right around these corners, simply because Dobson is now here. If you find someone from Era around the corner with Persistent Guts, they're going to start knocking up into you. And if you pop your steroid as a Jingwei, you get 15% additional crit or so. And those 3 shots, if they all crit, will absolutely melt anybody from Era.
Now, the second tower of the game actually going to end up falling now at 18 minutes. Tier 1s at this point do kind of tend to not exist to a lot of the damage that the players are able to throw out. They're able to kind of walk in, take it down, get the gold, and leave with that control over in the Gold Fury pit. It looks like some damage is going down. A fight over the Oracle Harpies, and it's going to be taken down by Rival. But Dobson looking like he might want to continue fighting with the rotation from Gnome. They want to go in, and they're forcing Era to run with their tail tucked between their legs.
So Rival are feeling themselves. Jake, we're going to use his Dharmic Pillars really aggressively there. Might have even forced out the beads there coming out of Visor, while the rest of his teammates are starting up the Gold Fury. Jacob zoning on the right. Rapio zoning a little bit too much on the left, but he hammers away.
Nice teleport, able to get out. Still getting chased, but we do see Discipline once again reigning supreme, and the team falling back instead of diving for the kill. Gnome going in for the aggression. The damage from Tyler K, he's trying to keep him under control, but we're going to see it turned around onto them. Watson coming through, he's the tide turner, and Rogue T getting low, forced to jump just to run away, and the ult's coming down from Watson to get that little bit of extra damage. No kills just yet, but they are all so low on Era that they just can't fight into this.
But they don't even really have the sustain coming out of Sir Duckbutt. He's only sitting at level 12. Nice stun onto Watson. Forcing out the double relics there, but the knockup, Lizer gets caught, is going to get traded 1-for-1.
Now we're going to be seeing them continue go in. Tyler K, the main one for the aggression, and Dobson going to be able to get that one, a double kill for him, 5-0-1. Rapio in the backline picks up overpowered USB, no problem. And Sir Duckbutt, he's left kind of sitting over here all by his lonesome, wondering what he can do as a lowly Raw. He has a snipe, he knows the Gold Fury is about to get started, but is it really worth him trying to go for the steal?
Rapio, just kind of like I said before, toying with his food. He doesn't want to stun Rogue because he knows he can walk through that wall. Even just playing with him, using that horrific emblem as he walks away. The rest of Rival get that Gold Fury for free. Era know that they cannot contest that like you mentioned before. Rapio would have surely stopped Sir Duckbutt in his tracks.
And standing next to each other, just kind of hugging it out, showing that even though we're on opposite teams, we can still be friends, we can still have fun together. But meanwhile, Gnome is the one getting some aggression for his team, going to be able to find that. And the big thing there, the last one, Watson has now died twice. He is feeding for his team. He is the #1 feeder here for Rival. Make sure to hit him up on Twitter and tell him so.
I can't even tell what's happening anymore. Whenever anyone comes near Rapio, there's just shenanigans every single time.
Now, Rival at this point, I mean, the map is their playground. They're able to come into this one. They have so much control. There's still ability to throw if they get a little bit too playful.
I mean, Rapio can literally put his controller on the ground, go get a drink, come back, and I think he'll still be fine with the rest of his team playing 4-on-5. Now making a play happen on OPUSB, missing that action on the right-hand side, but it doesn't matter because Rival are up 20-2.
Now looking potentially to go right back in, not worried at all. Level 17 compared to OPUSB's 11. 6 advantage on the side of Rival just there. let alone the advantage they've been able to cultivate other places. The closest is going to be the ADCs. Right now, Lizer being the shining hope, only level 18, but only 1 level behind the Jingwei.
It's not that big of a deal if you're only 1 level behind 19 to 18, but it's all about the rest of your teammates. Team Rival has secured their own Fire Giant. They're trying to find these 2 cleanup kills.
Now they're going to be going for it. Rogue T going to fall down. I appreciate the attempt to get the steal, but Sir Duckbot gets taken down. Rapio going to be able to get that. Tyler K in this Dragon going to get taken down and locked down into the ground. 2 left overall. A level 11. Not going to have as much of an impact as you would want. Actually, almost able to get the kill onto Watson, but he's just going to be a little bit too tanky for you to take down just yet. And now with the Suns dropped, that might be enough to deter the Tier 2 push, but only for a little bit.
Just all over the place, this Rival. They were on Fire Giant while Rapio was zoning in the back, found an easy kill onto Sir Duckbot, just firing on all cylinders.
Now looking for the last little bit of damage, and at this point, this is where Dobson's going to shine bright. He's going for the kills. Although a nice bit of crit, all of the fight, all of the tower push, once again going for the wall to block off some of his teammates. That's how you know you are feeling yourself. Like, he's laughed at them, he's tried to block them off a few times, he went up and hugged Osiris for a little bit. He's having a good game.
That's right. Even the cameraman in disapproval there of the shenanigans coming from Rapio there. Now, there's a little bit of light humor for that. Whenever you're in this kind of a lead, you should be, you know, not necessarily too overconfident and too overcocky by throwing it into diving Phoenixes, but that little play like right there is not just overextending or throwing any sort of games.
And it's always nice to see when you have a good game like that, and when you're coming into this one, you recognize that, hey, I'm 9-0-2. I don't need to worry too much about this. I can fight into it. An overpowered USB.
Wow.
He was trying to run, and he recognized he's level 20. He was there's nothing I can do.
He was running away from Jason there, and you can't run away from Jason there. Jingwei will catch you.
The horror music coming down, the machete getting sharpened in the background. Glorious SMITE music to kind of get that. It was quiet for you to make sure that everything went through. Coming into it just like a horror movie, still getting chased down. Era Eternity taking a lot of damage. Watson doesn't care about the fact that his team hasn't initiated just yet. He's getting that damage down. The Sun's going to be dropped from Gnome. Going to be able to get one of these kills. Rogue T over the wall, trying to get away. And at this point, that's going to be the big thing. They're just trying to get away. They aren't even trying to fight back.
No, there's no possibility to fight back. All 5 members with Fire Giant here from Rival. They're making their presence truly felt. Rapio baiting so many abilities with that Aegis, trying to get the damage off onto OP USB. Hammers away. Thought he was going to find the last hit in the process with a fadeaway from Rogue T. And now laughing back at Rival.
You can do a lot, but you can't always fight. That's going to be the first death for Rapio, the jungler there for Rival, so it's going to be a big spill. But on the other side, this team making sure that he gets some use out of it. That Phoenix is down. Tactical feed
coming out of Rapio, baiting 3 members from Arrow just to ensure his own teammates would get the left side Phoenix, making sure that this game would be a little bit easier to clean up.
You were on a team with Zapman. If anyone knows about tactical feeding the best, it is going to be you. You have the experience.
Did you see him yesterday?
Yeah, coming into it. It's a rough match coming down to that one. They not looking as good as they could have been.
Nope, not at all here. And Era needs to find a way back into this one. It's not looking too pretty for them as they already lost their left side Phoenix, losing Rogue T as well, making it more difficult to hold this middle Phoenix despite being at 4-on-4, with now Rapio reviving it, making it a 5-on-4.
27-3 are the kills right now, 25 minutes into the game. Looking potentially to be able to get for 18,000 gold lead, by the way. That's a big number. In case you don't know how to count that high, it is it's large. 22,000 experience. Although experience at this point, it still plays a big role when you're overpowered USB and you're the one who's super far behind. But the rest of the team slowly but surely going to start catching up, because the level 19, level 20, you can't go past that. So after a while, you start to play a little bit of catch up. But you have to be able to survive long enough to play catch up.
Era needs to hope for a miracle for this game to extend more than 10 minutes right now for OP USB to get the levels that he needs, to try to get the items that he needs as well. Only sitting with 3 completed items if you don't look at starter items.
And with the way things are going right now, that Gold Fury, it was there and then it wasn't. It was started and then it was dead. Fire Giant 50 seconds. Portal Demon around the same timer. I think a little bit earlier than that one just because it was taken slightly before the Fire Giant last time. So a lot on the board coming up for Rival, and you can see they're just preparing for that one. They don't need to worry too much about going for any of these Phoenixes until they are comfortable with that nice red belt around them.
30 more seconds until that objective respawns, giving them more time to wait for those left side minion waves to trickle down the lane, get it in possession around that Titan room, maybe even can take out that Phoenix if all 5 members from Era are trying to stop this Fire Giant.
Looking to group up over there. Dobson, the only one not on his team, or the only one on his team all the way over here, not in the Fire Giant pit. Portal Demon looking to be going down relatively soon here. A couple more hits, it's all it's going to take. Rogue T going in, trying to do whatever he can, but he's just taking all of the damage. Up into the sky goes Rapio, and he's going to be looking for the stun. And unfortunately, Sir Duckbot is the recipient. Watson gets the kill. That's all on the back of the jungler.
Tell me if you heard that story before. Yet again, Sir Duckbot falling to Watson's damage. Rapio diving as well, making it so difficult right now for anybody out of Era to find any kills in response. Now, Rival, there's no more joking around for them. They're here to clean this up.
Fire Giant started. Fire Giant half health, and they're going to go. I like going for Tyler K. Don't risk the steal, even if it could happen. Even if you could clean up afterward, they're going to be able to get that one. Start the Fire Giant back up. Rapio going a little bit too far, going to end up being the second feeder on his team. Both him and Watson having two deaths on them. But when you have 8 kills and 10 kills, kind of glance over the deaths.
I mean, Rival are just not worried. They could sacrifice one member here. Rapio with his second death. 10 kills, though, 8 assists. He's been all over the place with this Thor. We were talking about how hit or miss Thor can be sometimes, especially in the console scene, but Rapio showing us that he is this world top-tier elite console jungler.
Now, Fire Giant on the belts. The team, 30 kills on their belts as well going in. This middle Phoenix looking to get taken down.
Where did he go?
Is just annihilated off the board. OPUSB falling down with him, and they don't need the jungler to be able to close this one out. Now 32-4 as they continue their aggression into the base. Tyler K forced to go into his dragon form just to avoid the damage, but you can't avoid it forever, and now he is going to be sitting in timeout.
That's what happens when a Fafnir comes back from draconic form. Persistent Gust knocking you up. The damage from Rival, too real. Darwin Pillars over the Titan, putting the cape over the Titan. Is going to be lights out and curtains for Era.
Lizer, going to be the hero at the very end there, was able to at least get a return kill for his team, knock him up into 5, so it was only 7.